for the next 45, 50 minutes, just do well to shun every distraction, right? Do well to shun every possible distractions and just all eyes on me, okay? All eyes on me. I'm trying to turn on my camera, but I can't see myself. So that would be weird. Can anybody see me? Can anybody see me? Yes, no.
Yes, sir, I can see you.
Oh, awesome. 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 I'm supposed to see myself. Oh, I'm not seeing myself on the screen. Okay, I want to share my screen.
You are wearing fit.
Screen should be this. Awesome. All right, great. So I have my screen here. All right, so just two people, just let me know your experience with running ads on Instagram. Just 2-3 persons. You can raise up your hands so that I'll just call you up. What's been your experience with running ads? Has it been an issue? Have you made money off running ads before? Maybe you are here, you believe in ads. I want to hear that side. And you that don't believe in it, it has never worked for you. Let me also hear you out. So, two persons who is putting their hands up to respond to that question. Anybody? Stop sharing so that I can see everybody. Is anybody putting their hands up? What has been your experience with running ads? Positive or negative? I want to hear it. Shell, awesome. Please let me hear you, Shell.
Yeah, good afternoon. So
Hi.
my experience with running ads, I just feel it has not been working for me because I just post my graphics with little captions, expecting to see people's turn up. But unfortunately, I feel like I just posted the ad for myself only. So I got tired along the way, but still, I know that there is still an act to do because I also see people's ads on Telegram, I mean on Instagram. So I'm just like, why are people not, seeing my own like that, like that?
All right, awesome. Who is saying something next? Thank you, Shell. Divine is saying never ran ads before. Okay. Any other person? Any other person? I need one more person, especially on the negative side. Let me hear those negative feedbacks about ads. So nobody else here has had any experience with ads? Okay, that's quite interesting. Never did. Okay.
Let me say something.
All right, please go on, Chama.
Okay, mine is that my own ad used to go to the wrong audience. So I will run ad here in Nigeria and I'll put the location as Nigeria, but somehow the algorithm will take it to people like Indians, Pakistanis, and they will just be in my DM and something that they know that they can't even get from Nigeria, they'll just be there. So I don't know how that thing works. After running ad, I see that it's the target audience is always wrong. So I don't know what to do about it.
Okay. All right, I get that. God's favor. God's favor,
Hello.
can you your hands are up? Yes, please.
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, so my experience with ad is a roller coaster because every day there is always one strategy or the other, and I try to implement sometimes my issue is that how do I reach business owners that are willing to buy my offer. So I'm an affiliate marketer and I'm looking at, okay, how do I reach people that would actually take up my offer. And you hear people tell you, maybe your targeting, maybe it's your creative, and I keep tweaking. At the end of the day, I don't get the results. So I'm moving about running hard. I want to run hard this week, and that is one reason why I'm in this training. When I saw the mail that I must really kind of find out what exactly is the problem and how my next ad can be better than all the others ran in the past.
Awesome. That's very interesting to hear. All right, so let's get in on it. I've heard you guys have a good overview of people I have in this class. And of course, quite a number of you are on the group of people who have not run any before. And of course, we won't leave you behind. So I just wanted to have a good grasp of people we have in class, right? So getting to that now, I trying to put the chat on another screen so that I can be able to keep up with your chat in case somebody's trying to call my attention to in the class. Yes, I'm almost done with that. Awesome. Okay. We can all see my screen, right? Please tell me you can.
Yes,
You can see my screen. Awesome.
Yes, we can. I can see.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. So this is what we are here to talk about, right? How to run ads like a pro. A lot of us who are professionals are doing this. We make not just good money, but we also make good sales from it, right? And I'm here to share how we get to do that. Somebody is saying audio is low. Is my audio low everywhere? Okay, I have to speak a little bit louder. All right, I'll try and raise my voice. Rapid.
Not at all. Audio is not low. But let the person check his own.
mine is clear here.
Okay, thank you. I'll just try and keep my voice a little. Hopefully that helps. Right, so, well, first things first, it all begins with your account setup, right? So many times we just go, people just say, oh, people run ads, they are making money, and they just jump into it. We want to run ads. I want to run ads too. Me too, right? The me too syndrome. But the first place this whole conversation about ads comes to play is your account setup, right? So imagine two of us now, right? Just imagine yourself, you want to get a house, a building, a house worth, let's say, 50 million somewhere, right? And upon chatting somebody up or upon getting to somebody's page, they are saying that the pictures that the person has been posting are blurry, not good quality. Won't you be scared? Like, are you sure this person can really afford? Are you sure this person can really afford this building that this person is talking about that they are selling? Are you sure I'm not about to be scammed, right? So the way the internet works is that people size you up based off on what they see. A lot of us how many of us here have gotten something online from Instagram before? If you have, let me just see your hands up. Just raise your hand. No need to unmute and speak. Just raise your hand, or just chat in the class group, the group chat rather. You have ordered something from Instagram before. Let me see your hands up. Awesome. Only Abdul Karim. Every other person haven't. Okay, just two people. I was expecting to see a lot of hands actually. Okay, because you want to sell, but you've not bought from Instagram, but you want to sell on Instagram. That's interesting. Okay, fail. Okay, we now have more people. All right, we will, if we want to be true to ourselves, you will confirm that before you place that order on Instagram, by the time you saw maybe the advert or wherever, you went to the person's page and checked a few things, right? A lot of us just do it. Some of us do it by reflex. You just want to size the person up. Are you sure this person can deliver on this? Or imagine we had this cost now and I said it's 500K and you can afford the 500K. But you want to also come and check that, are you sure this person that is doing this, what is the result this person has seen for? The person to want to do a training, so amount, right? So that's usually what happens. The online space in general is built around what people can see, right? If you are posting a blurry picture of a house and you want to sell it for 100 million, you should be able to afford a better phone, a good phone to take a good picture, right? That's what somebody will be thinking about. Somebody that posted a picture like something like this. and you want to sell it at so price. Sometimes it does even cost some of us, right? If you want to sell your hair, you want to sell something, and the quality of your camera is very bad. So somebody is looking at it as, I was thinking it was not good, or it was not original, right? So that has to speak to how your page looks. People always come from your ad to check you out, right? So usually this conversation will start from things like, what is your username like, right? What's your social media username like? What's what's the keywords around the name that you have used on your Instagram page, right? And then your bio. What's your bio saying you're about? For me, I can say I help businesses increase their income using effective social media marketing strategies. If I was a social media manager, although I'm not a digital marketer, but then I can decide to change my profile to be a social media manager. That's what people want to see, right? Some of us, we have businesses, and our businesses, we've written some things on our bio that are turn-offs. For instance, imagine you come out to your bus stop now, you're in your house, come out to a bus stop, and you see a car loading there, and the car is loading maybe Oshodi, 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 and they are now saying, why they are saying Oshodi, Oshodi, they now say Oshodi, Oshodi, we are not kidnappers, we are not kidnappers, Oshodi, Oshodi, we are not kidnappers, we are not kidnappers. How many of us will end up boarding that bus? How many of us will end up boarding that bus? I need responses, right?
No.
You won't. So you see, some of us have things like no scam zone on our Instagram bio, no return, no exchange, no anything. You are doing exactly the same thing. Because I was not thinking you were a scammer before, but for you to now write on your page, I'm not a scammer, no scam zone. Okay, you're a scammer, you have plans, right? So you have some of these turn-offs that we put up in our bio. I'm not saying you shouldn't have a no return policy. Of course, you can, depending on your business. There are businesses where those items, once they leave your store, you don't know what they might have used it for, so you cannot accept them back. Those policies, you can tell it to your client at the point of sale, not something to put on your bio. It means just to give that vibe of you are ready for war, right? Yeah, this place is war zone, right? So there are some of those things that we do on our bio that just makes that conversion not to work out fine, right? So what I'm trying to point out here is that just the way your physical store is, right? Before you go out to tell people that, hey, we are opened up here. We've opened up at number 6, Shaludin Street, Ejora, or wherever, right? You must have put your store in order. That's what this concept is speaking to. So make sure you put your page in order. Make sure your bio is well written. You don't have those X signs saying no refund, blah, 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 and all of those things. You don't have them there. You have a link that is sending people somewhere. Usually, I always suggest Linktree, because the way Linktree works is that it's one link that gives you the idea or the ability to embed other links. Divine, you're writing on my screen, please. Thank you. Right? Linktree is a platform that allows you to embed links under write-ups. So for instance, the way my Linktree looks like, that's the area here. Let me open up an Instagram page and show you guys what I am trying to portray. All right, so you have to clearly state what your business is about, right? So for this one, let me use my profile, for example. My profile is saying, growing your brand online is my expertise. Page management, web development, SEO, ads, and more, right? I work with over 500 brands. I speak, I train, I give results, and there's a link tree here. So I've said that your bio here should speak, well, this is a personal brand, but if it's a business, it should be something that speaks to what your business is about. So you are saying something like, we produce, we manufacture, we sell outfits that will help you stand out. Then you list maybe a few of them: caps, shoes, this, and this. We are all set. Then you put a call to action. Click here to order, right? And then you add a link tree. Let me go to the other page that I was at. that time, which is the business page. Let me see that. Yes, this is the one. So, number one flash drive producers in Nigeria, USB for iPhone, Android, and other smart gadgets, can be customized, worldwide delivery. Let's deal. Click, and I point to the, and there's something pointing to the link tree to access, to click on, right? And what am I saying about link tree? Let me just open that in another tab, and you can see that right here, right? So the way this link tree works is that, let me open the one here. The way you can maximize this link tree is that you can put up other offers or other ways people can actually interact with your business or do business with you. For instance, if you are selling maybe clothing, right? You could say view our catalogs, right? You can have a view our catalog, and that link takes you to your catalog or wherever you have other things that they can order. You need maybe gift sets for men, gift sets for women. So you are almost suggesting ways they can patronize you, right? You know, but if as opposed to you just putting one, maybe just your WhatsApp link, you can also still put WhatsApp. You can say chat, right? You see, you have me here saying chat with us on WhatsApp or chat with me on WhatsApp, right? But then I have all of these other things here. Become a pro Canva designer, become a videographer, takes you to a training, a course, all of this. Sign up for a social media marketing course, how to use social media for business, a free recap, then chat. So you can do all of things that are more like suggestions to your customers. Oh, you can buy this. Oh, you can sell this. Oh, you can order this. Oh, you can discuss with us this way. You can do business with us in this way, right? So that's one way you can maximize that. And we now have other things like we've talked about the bio, we've talked about the username, right? The bio. And then you now want to also take better advantage of this session that we call the highlights, right? Highlights. I know some people use highlights. People use highlights in different ways. Some people just come in and write, okay, my name is Kingsley. If I just come in and write Kings, Kings. For me, that's not a good way to maximize it, right? I usually suggest to people to maximize highlights as ways to help solidify interest in some ways. And what I mean by that is, so somebody is coming to your pitch for the first time. Well, there'll be some form of doubts, right? So one way you can push away these doubts is through these highlights. And also one way you can help them get better clarity of what you do as a business is also through this place. For instance, if you have product, you can have a product list, right? You can have a review session where people can see reviews of people who have bought from you and people you've delivered to, we're happy and we're okay with what they ordered, right? For some kind of businesses, they can have frequently asked questions. You know, you're in a niche where people want clarity on certain stuffs, right? You want to put that out. FAQs. For some people, they are in a very complicated business. You can do how it works, right? A couple of other things like um, special offers. Maybe you have special packages, maybe like a perfume seller that has packages where she have put like 5 or 7 perfumes together and put them together, or whatever business you are, if you have those special offers, there can be a special offer tabs, right? I just always like to put it at, let's say like 5. See, mine here is 5. I really like to leave it at 5 because the phone screen can only take 4 and little part of 5, and I don't want it to be too much. I just always want to leave it at 5. And I use those particular points to solidify the person's interest. You're having doubt about me. If I will deliver, there's a review there to further convince you. You want to see the things I've done before, the works I've done before, there's a column there to convince you, right? For the business. You have some questions, let's say a loan platform. People want to know how much is the minimum I can collect as a loan, how much is the maximum, what's the time, what's the interest rate, blah, blah, blah. All of those repetitive questions that you know that are too much. I add an FAQ session for that. I have special deals or special offers. I add that up there, right? So one way you can come up with some of these things is you have to think, what are those things that people need more clarity on? Some of us are selling products that, let's say like a boutique seller or a clothes seller, they sell a lot of things, can be cap, eyeglasses, different stuffs. You might have to now have a product list, right? Because person might have to scroll before they find out, oh, do you have bags, do you have wristwatches, do you have, because by the time you post all the wristwatches you have, your whole feed is going to be flooded, right? So this is one other place you want to pay good attention to. If you are good with some designs, you can just design simple covers to make them look attractive, just like mine, right? And then the last part is your feed. You have to make sure your feed is not looking shabby. Just like I said, the idea of all of this conversation is that people come here to size you up, right? To make sure it's in good shape. Somebody can be at your page by 2 a.m. when you are sleeping. You are not there to say, I'm sorry, I just mistakenly uploaded this thing. It's an old post. Oh no, it's not something I plan to post. Hey, that was when I was not serious with business. You can't stay there and give all these excuses. The customer or prospect comes, they check everything, they are not good, they've gone. You won't even know that somebody came, right? So what you can do on this your feed is to make sure that you take off blurry images, images that are not speaking well about your brand and what you represent. Check out for things that are generally going to size you down, right? Make people look down on whatever you are trying to push your business or yourself or your brand as, right? So make sure you look out for all of those. So that's that about the beginning, which is your setup, right? Your account outlook. How does your page look, right? So that's where it all begins, because that's where you're calling people to come and see. And like I said, we are taking this analogy from you having a business, right? Before you go out and for people to come and you have open shop, oh, please come and check us out. You have new items. You make sure you have put everything in order, right? So this is our beginning, which is making sure you're putting our house, our office, or our store, or our shop, whichever English sits well with you. Making sure you put it in order first, right? So once that is now done, you can now move to the next conversation. Please drop me a comment, drop me a yes, I got it, right? If you got all I just explained, let me see a thumbs up or a yes, I got it in the comment section. That's how we are moving. That's how we are rolling in this class. Awesome, Rachel. Awesome, KJ. Awesome. Yes, you got it. Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. I can see some social media and people in the house. Awesome, awesome. Superb. I love this. I love the energy. When can I ask a question? Yes, you can ask a question at this point. At the end of every of my slide, you can ask a question. So this is slide one is gone. Yes, your question can drop. So please go. Who is the person that has a question? Raise your hand. Let me see you and then you want to ask your question. Thank you, Ojo. So you still have your right hand up. You can put it down. Innocent, please mute it.
Somebody's mic is on. Please mute your mic.
Please, who has the question? Where's the person with the question? Okay. Ojo, do you have a question? Oluwaseun. If you don't have, please bring down your hand. Oluwaseun Olumo. Please, your question. Olumo, your question.
Hello, sorry, sorry, I'm in a very noisy place, so I just want to quickly say this and leave it. So my question is, when you said something about our bio,
Yes,
under our name, where we can do a search. So if what if I do like an acronym of my name and I still put the things I do in it? Like I'm into maternity wears. So what if I have, okay, maybe like my maternity wear, nursing wears, then maybe my name in short, does that still work? Or I should just put majorly the things I do there?
That's
now I'm talking
on
about
your
username.
on your name. No, there's
Yes.
name, there's username. Username is is the one that you tell people that you say at Femi and Co.
No, not that one. The other one you mentioned about.
Username. There's the other one that is name. The reason why, so let's do a quick hands-on explanation on that. Now, one of the reasons why I always this is username. Digital KC is my username. Digital marketer / brand strategist / trainer is my name, is the name. Now, the reason why I always do this, everybody, please, your eyes on the screen. Now, let me type the word print. Let's say print. Now you can see that the people that came up as a result, let's say I want to do a print, I want to print it now, right? And see this that came up as a result, there are people who have prints in either their username or their name. But I will put it to you that one of the reasons why they are getting this is because the print is in their name, right? Not necessarily their username. So you can see people that came up, you can see print either their name or their username. So if you don't have what you do in your username, make sure you have it in your name, right? Let me do one more and say, should I don't say in Lagos, let me say in Ife, because I'm in Ife and I want to buy shoes. But you see these people, you see somebody here, all of these things, can you see some wigs and shoes in Ile Ife? I didn't even say Ile before the Ife, I just said Ife. But you can see the results that came up. This one, there's not even Ife in her name. You can see the fashion vault, but you can see that what made her come up is because of the bags and shoes in Ibadan and Ife. And that's why I always suggest that you should work on this business. So if you want to now put your name there alongside what you do, let's say your name is Olumo, you want to say Olumo, then 2 lines like mine, maybe dash, and then maternity wear expert. Fine, that's not bad. But there are some businesses that can't take those two. Maybe it might be too much. But it's like me now, I already put 3 things. If I still put my name here, do you know how long this will be? It won't even show on the screen. No, the screen is smaller, phone screen is smaller, right? So you want to have that at the back of mind while you are making that decision. But can you add your name? Yes, you can. I hope that answers that. Who is the next person?
Yes,
Faith?
thank you.
Welcome, Shiva. Faith, please. Okay, say Faith.
Hi, yes, thank you.
Your
My
voice is
question
really
is
low.
regarding.
Awesome. You're coming up. This is better. Go on.
Okay, all right. Is it better now?
Absolutely.
Okay, my question is regarding, you said something about organizing our services or goods, just the way you describe it
Yes.
here, the way you're showing on the screen.
Yes.
But I tried doing this
Yes.
on Instagram. I don't know, do you need to have a certain amount of followers before you can, have this kind of organization or something? Because I don't know. I
Absolutely
don't know.
not. You don't have to. All you just need to have done is whatever. See, these things are called highlights, right? You have to add a click here to do a plus. I can't take us through that, unfortunately, because of time. But maybe if I have time, I might do that. But click on the plus here. Then that's how you create a highlight, right? So you have to create a highlight. And highlights, the things that can, for instance, if I click on this training tab, you're going to see the things I have behind the training part. I set them up already, right? I actually did set it up. Like, so anything you want to be behind a particular highlight, you must have posted that thing on your story at one point or the other. If you've never posted it on your story, you can't put it on the highlight. So it's called story highlights. Story highlights, meaning you create highlights of stories that you've posted over time. So those are like the only criteria.
Oh,
If it's for the designing parts, you can always design something and change the cover and all of that. Those ones you can always watch YouTube for. But the principle is just this is a way to arrange something you could say. If I want to say I want to do my services, right? I will just quickly make sure I do a flyer and post it on my story. And I'll now come to my services and edit the highlights and then add it to the back of it. There's a way around it.
okay.
That's the basic principle. It's made up of. So if you
All
don't put
right.
something on your story, you can't see it to add at the back of the highlights.
All right.
Godwin,
Thanks, sir.
you're welcome. Last one before I move on, Godwin. So it seems I need to fly.
Good afternoon, sir.
Godwin, please make it snappy. Thank you.
All right, sir. So my question is regarding the link tree stuff you talked about.
Okay.
So I want to understand on your link tree, do you have to include just like if you have a website, or if maybe like as a graphic designer now, you don't have a website, but you probably have like maybe your portfolio or
Portfolio and stuff like that. Yes. Oh, like I said, I was giving you the concept behind how to maximize using the link tree, right? To initiate conversations. Hire a graphic designer. Need flyer designs, or get my bulk offer of flyer designs or or designs per monthly. Check out my portfolio. All of those things, you now put the needed link. So the place you are saying hire a designer for your next project, let that be maybe your WhatsApp, it could be your WhatsApp link that you put behind it. So it allows you to put links behind write-ups. That's the idea of Linktree. So you have to go to Linktree to find out how it works. I just gave you the idea, a better way to maximize it. So I'm not going to teach you how to set up Linktree. You go and search that and set it up. I've given you the tool and giving you a concept on how to maximize it. You can now go on, do your final research, and then set yourself.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Olumo, please, you can put down your hand so that I know I've answered you. Steven, please put down your hand. I've answered you. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to the next part of the slide. Which is, so what do you have pinned, right? What do you have pinned means, remember I said that people are coming to your account, to your page, by reason of your ads, right? They will come in to size you up before they do business with you. And one of the things I also think you business people or whoever is running adverts should do to help them convert better, right? Because sometimes the problem is not just in the fact that people are not showing up. People are coming, but they are not finding you worthy enough of their money, right? So, and that thing you want to do is to pin some posts, right? So you can pin posts that introduce your brand or some kind of businesses. You, Farouk, you have a question, you raise your hand. That's how it's done. So you raise your hand, and then when it's time for questions, I'll ask you. What do you have pinned? So you pin posts that introduce your brand. There are some businesses that they have to do videos saying, hey, I'm the face behind this brand, blah, 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 blah. We do this, we do that, we do this here. Make sure you purchase, be sure that you are going to get exactly what you want. And they do something like that. You pin it on the first 3 parts of the Instagram post, right? For instance, here are my pin posts. This is my number 1 pin post, my number 2 pin post, and my number 3 pin post, right? Here's my slide. Yes, so highlight, you can also, and that thing you can do there is you can put up posts to further solidify people's, solidify the fact that you are who you say you are. For instance, if I'm saying I'm an ad expert, I speak, I train, I already pinned one of the posts where I had somewhere where I was invited to speak. So there's no doubt that I speak or that I train, right? If I'm saying I can give you whatever result, and I screenshot a proof of the back end of somebody saying, hey, he did this of his truth, he did this and did this for me, blah, 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 and I pin it there. That solidifies that doubt, right? So things that can further convince people that, okay, this man, he is who he says he is, right? Or who he claims to be. And then another thing for business people is that they can also, if you are running an advert for a particular package, you could also pin 1 or 2 other packages that maybe are totally different from the other one, right? So maybe, for instance, I'm doing a promotion that is saying we are doing December sales, right? But then I can also now do a promotion, pin a post there that is saying that people who maybe they're saying if you buy 10, you can get 1 free. So maybe the other ads has been doing, I'm doing maybe that I'm doing an educational ad, maybe for my personal page. Maybe I'm teaching people how to do something just in some seconds. And then when they come to my page, they'll now see my services somewhere there where I've pinned it. Oh, I do this, 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 right? I'll pin it there. So I'm saying that you can also cross-sell at the same time on your page, right, or on your platform, so that once the other one is people come to you, just say maybe you can always go to the supermarket and you want to buy just maybe fish, and then when you enter, you now see other things. These people are doing discounts. So these people are giving free buckets to order this. Oh, these ones are doing. Let me just buy this too. You get, so the same thing to apply on this. So you can strategically pin things that you can cross sell or even upsell people, right? Just make sure that each post is clear on what you want the person to do, right? That's for what do you have pinned, right? I'll go to the next one. Sorry, I have to almost finish my slide before I start taking questions. So just be a bit patient with me. And then the next one is saying, what's special about your offer? What is special about your offer? So one other challenge that a lot of business people face is that when they are running this, they just go, let's just run, let me just put pictures of 2 shoes or 3 shoes and advertise it. No, it might not come, but what is special about your offer? Why should I leave Mohammed in my backyard that is also selling very nice kitchen utensils and come and buy from me online, right? So it doesn't make sense. So what's unique about your product? So you need, a lot of times when I want to run out of businesses, I want to ask them, what's your unique selling point? Why should somebody give another person and come to you? A lot of us have friends who are into tailoring, right? Sewing clothes and all of that, and maybe baking and the like. But then somebody online is now saying, leave that your friend and come and sew with me. Why? So give people reasons. I say that because once they get from you, they are going to get special discounts. Some example is exclusive discounts, money back guarantees. You see some people say get your money back if this and this and this does not happen, right? Time sensitive, creates urgency. So focus on the benefits, free shipping, first time buyer discounts. You get, so you're buying for the first time, you're getting an extra item, you're buying this and this and that, and you're getting a free, you're getting some pairs of glasses like this, and you're getting extra what's it called? Extra frames. Do you get? If you get as much as 4, you're getting a free frame and extra wipes and the likes, right? So what's special about your offer? Why should I this the person that's selling beside me? I will not have to pay delivery fee for and then buy from you, right? And the next thing is, who is in the best position to patronize you? So a lot of times we run ads and we just say, everybody in Lagos used to eat now. Let's say you're selling food, just like everybody used to eat food, everybody used to wear clothes, everybody's my customer. There has to come, as far as ads is concerned, you have to start thinking about who are people who are most likely going to place my order. For instance, if I'm selling clothes, there's a higher chance of me selling in Lagos than me trying to run advert and get somebody in Abuja to buy, right? There's a higher chance. So you have to think of things like that. Who are people who are most likely? I'm selling Lamborghini now, for instance, and you're telling me, some 20-year-old can afford Lamborghini now. Yes, they might be 20-year-olds who can afford it, but who are the people who are most likely going to be able to afford it? So that's the core principles when you are picking your audience, people you are targeting your ads to. You think, who are the people who are most likely, not anomalies, not some people can buy it, some people can buy a house of so. So that your product, that your hair you are selling, that your shoe you are selling, who are the people who are most likely going to afford it, right? These are the people you should shrink your target into. Don't just say, let's just go 18 to 60. Even while you are thinking of the maybe 50-year-olds, you are thinking, how many 50-year-olds conveniently give you their money? I remember when I bought shares in my house online, right? My mom was on my neck for for like God knows when, or roughly 3 weeks if I wanted the check came. She was always asking me, Should I told you not to buy it online? Should I told you not to buy it online? And I'm like, they will deliver, they will bring it. You get, so you know how worried they become. So how many of them will want to buy those items online? So you have to think about all of those, right? What's this? You want your grades to be flawless. Who is this Israel? All right, so you have to think about that, right? When running your ads, don't just come out and want to be greedy. I want to catch everybody. You have to streamline. Sometimes you have to even streamline the offer based off on the people you want to target per time. For instance, if I'm selling bowls of, if I have a food business and I'm selling bowls of soup, right? I want to target a particular group of people. Maybe I'm selling bowls of soup and I want to target young guys. Then can make me come up with a young guys package, right? Where I say save up to 50% of the money you spend on food. I do a design that shows how much you spend if you're eating in the place on a weekly basis. And then if you buy a bowl of soup, maybe buy just 4 bowls, you stand the chance to have this and this and that, right? Or to save those amount. So all of those will make me understand that it me speak to those people's pain points. If I want to do another advert, maybe you want to target women, working class women, please can somebody remove this Israel or distracting me? So so if somebody is want to do an advert and want to target the mothers, the conversation will be different. We are going to say something like, don't need to get back to the kitchen after the day's trouble, right? Just warm this soup and make it for your family. Conversation is different. Sometimes your audience can even decide the offer you are pushing per time, right? So that's very important. So who you are targeting is really, really important, right? Next slide. Now, another thing you need to take note of is that, excuse me, another thing you need to take note of is that good ads is not by length of days. Sometimes when I want to run ads, one thing I hear a lot of business people say is something like, how long will this ad run for? It's almost like you just want it to be running for life, but no, right? That's not how it works. A better way is that for me, I like to run because people most likely have very little budgets, right? I usually advise, okay, let's run your ads on a weekend basis. Let's leave out Mondays. You know how Mondays can be for people, right? They are distracted. Somebody can see your ad and say, let me buy this thing. Before you know, God just call him and say, hey, there's the paper we are submitting. No. Yeah, get to work. So just throw away their phone and your ad has gone, right? So I want to run this ad at a time frame where I know that they are 100% concentrated on their phone. So weekends are like a very good time, right? So I run my ads mostly weekends for most clients. There are some clients, there was time I was running ad for a client that has a loan, that gives loan to people. We stop running ads on first day of the week, of the month, last day of the month. We run it majorly second and third week in the month. And that's because that's when SAPA is holding people ransom, right? So those things not by length of days, not by how long. Let's run, make sure it runs for 20 days straight. Right? The idea is that when you are buying these ads, you are buying, let's say, for 10,000 ads. For instance, this is an example, not exactly the number. So 10,000 ads is giving you 10 minutes of show time. You now go and spread out your 10 minutes for 10 days. So it's 1 minute per day. And then compare somebody who took that 10 minutes and spread it between Saturday and Sunday when people are actively on their phone. They are in their free mode, right? And the person, 5 minutes, 5 minutes. Fire people, 5 minutes, 5 minutes straight. Which one do you think will be more effective? So that's how you think about it, right? And then we get hands. But before we get hands on, I'll be that when I'll switch to my laptop and then walk us through some things. Let me have all the questions. So is it Farouk or who was the first person? That should be. I have a question. Where is he? Farouk, yes. Farouk, are you there? Faisal, I don't know what the hello was for. But Abdullahi, I have a question. Okay, please go on. Farouk Abdullahi, can I hear you? Farouk and Abdullahi. All right, Ganiat, please, can you go on?
Oh, the next 2 weeks. Yeah. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon,
Yeah.
Ganiat.
Yeah. Thanks for the eye opening and some other things you shared. So my question is that is it possible for me to make money through Instagram ads and some other things? Then do I get paid for that? Or like
What you mean by that? What you mean by that is that can you run ads for people and get paid for that? Or are you saying if you just run ad, they'll pay you? Instagram will pay you? I don't understand what you mean. Why Instagram will pay you for running ads? No, Instagram will not pay you for running ads. In fact, they will collect your money because you pay them for the ad spend. You give them a certain amount of money for them to push that your video or image or to advertise it, as the word implies. You only get paid when somebody purchases whatever you're advertising. So that's how it works.
Oh. Thank you so much, sir.
Austin. Austin.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, good afternoon.
Okay, sir. My question is, I wanted to ask, opening an Instagram account and Instagram page, are they the same? Because I have an Instagram account, so I don't know. The two thing is confusing me. Are you going to also have an Instagram page, or can I use my normal Instagram account and do whatever so I want to do?
So just the way we said that people will come to your page to size you up. So I'm of the opinion. Can you mute yourself? I'm of the opinion that if you want to do business, have a business page for your business. If you want to have personal life and do your personal, use your personal page for your personal life. Or if you have decided that I'm not interested in posting any personal thing there, let me just switch my personal page to business page. That's fine too. So you have to make that decision so that your page looks like an actual business. If you can know, they can make inquiry, they can see your products, can see everything that has to do with your business, not you. So that decision is on you to make.
Okay. Thank you once again. Okay, so my question is, you mentioned something about running our ads for like 2 days, weekends, a certain periods. So what I want to ask is, I've had, sorry, I'm bringing what I've heard, but I just want to make clarifications that you, especially for someone that's not run ads before, that at least let the run for like a minimum of like 7 days, so that it can filter and all of that before you can probably turn off and all those things. So how true is this with what you said earlier? Thank you.
So that's fine. Good. Thank you. You're asking. So there's no logical backing to that statement, so to say, because if you think about it. So now I said that weekend based off on experience, right? Sometimes when people are starting, I always tell them to try out stuff. The way you get better as this thing is by trying random things. Because if I just tell you, oh, weekend works better, if you have been running ads and I give you this conversation, you can say, oh, that's true, that's true. I remember when I did this, it worked. I got more tractions on Friday. Casey, you're making sense. But you that are just talking for the first time, you might just, I will not even want you to just take it as a principle and run. I want you to also confirm it, right? Because just like I did for the loan guys, the first time I started running the ads, we were running the ads um, repetitively, right? And then I found out that there was a certain time in the month where we get good response and the other times where we don't. So I had to switch it up. Now, tomorrow, if another loan company comes to me, I make sure he will just continue because I've learned something in the loan industry, so to say. So you can give it a try in the first time. That's fine. But then I'm just opening already in our mind to certain principles that, hey, it's not by length of days. Don't just wake up and want to stretch everything. They are doing so, but if it's that it will help you to sieve, it's sieving absolutely nothing. But then it helps you understand what your industry is working on or what your industry is looking like as regards ad. In fact, and that thing you guys should notice also that I always split my ads. So if I'm running my ads, I don't just do one advert and I'm doing that same advert. When I mean that same advert, like when I'm setting it up, I will not select Abuja, Lagos, Port Harcourt because I want it to go everywhere. No, I do my Abuja separately. I do my Lagos separately. I'll do on that one, Port Harcourt separately. So that we know where my customers are coming from. Oh, Lagos is doing better. Abuja is doing. Port Harcourt is not doing fine. But yeah, let me just stay on my Lagos and Abuja since as well. Let me spend my money there. Then you're spending money somewhere that is not working, but you don't know that it's not working because you're always putting everybody together, right? So there are a lot of tests and try and error. That's fine. It's good to do that so that you can confidently that if tomorrow another expert come and say, I'm an expert, and run your eyes on Wednesdays. Wednesdays is the middle of the week, is when the week is awake. So that the person will not come and bamboozle you. You'll be sure. You'll be convinced and say, I know. I know. Even if it's somebody, even if they have like 500 people saying, yes, that's true, it's working for me. And I'll say, no, I've tried it. It did not work for me. You get so I think that's the way to go around that. I hope that helps. I hope that helps. I can't remember your name because you put that in your hand, but I hope that helps. Joy, please. Last question, Joy, so that I can move on to doing stuff. Joy.
Yes, good afternoon. Good afternoon,
Hi, good
everyone.
afternoon, Joy.
Thank you for the opportunity. So I have a question. I have not run Instagram ads before, but sometime last week I said, let me just try my hand,
Okay.
So I did you select the audience that you want, select your post and all that. So I now got to the part of paying, like making a payment, and then I was asked to provide my card details. So I put the details on my own card. He told me this card cannot be used, blah, 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 blah. I said, okay, try it on that card. I eventually tried about 3 different cards and I was getting the same response. So my question is there a specific, so mind you, it was a MasterCard I used for this. The 3 different cards I used were MasterCards. So I tried Wema, Sterling, and then I think another bank like that. So is there a specific bank card that we're supposed to use for ads?
Well, when there was a time when the federal government placed the ban on international transactions, it affected everybody, right? So that's the issue everybody's facing. But the way out, Abdullah Mohammed, they are disturbing us. So no, those banks don't work. Almost all the banks don't work. Almost all. I think Providus is what works. But then a permanent fix is to switch your ad account from a postpaid to a prepaid ad account, right? So I can't guide you on that. Just have to talk to an expert and pay the person and pay us. And then you get fixed. But it's not something I can put you through. in this class, but the best permanent fix. When I mean the permanent fix, I mean you will now be able to use all of those your cards you mentioned, right? You'll be able to now use those cards to paying for your ad subsequently. And the good part of that one is that you won't put your card there. You just fund it, and then after funding it, you just put the money you want on it. In fact, I prefer it's called a prepaid account. So I prefer that because even when you forget, maybe you want to set your ad for 50,000. If it's 10,000 that is there, we get there and then the cut that it will stop that ad, right? So it's a win-win for you. So I prefer switching my account, but I am currently using a prepaid account, which I think is the best. So that's the way, that's the permanent fix for that. I hope that helps. So talk to
All right,
can see behind the scenes for this particular one. But yes, that's the way I'll switch to a prepaid account and you are good forever.
Sorry, but when you switch to a prepaid account, does
Who is speaking?
when
Who is speaking? I didn't see a hand, so I don't know who is speaking.
sorry, can I?
Yes, sir.
Who is
This is
speaking?
Hello, sir.
this is Oluwaseun Olumo.
Oluwaseun Olumo. Okay.
Yes. So I just wanted to ask a question in relation to what you just said. You said we should switch to a paid account.
A prepaid, yes.
Yes. So my question is, you said we should meet someone, an expert, to help with that.
Basically, me. Yeah, behind the scene, I have that.
So does that mean I have to meet every time, or when it is set up, I can run it?
No, so it's a one-time. Yes, it's a one-time fix. That's why I said once you've done it, you've done it forever. You will not have this issue.
Okay. Thank you.
Joy, I hope that's clear too. It's a one-time fix. It's a one-time switch. It's just like switching your NEPA lights. How do you meet me? You can chat me up after the class.
Yeah.
On my Instagram, yes, my Instagram is digital Casey. Digital. We'll see it at the end of the list. Oh, don't worry, we'll get there. Show you my hand. I think that settles that. Okay, so I just want to switch to quickly do a hands-on before our time elapsed. I think I just have 10 minutes left. So I should be done. You said 40 minutes, 50 minutes now. I started at what time? Solomon. All right, so I hope you can all see my screen. I'm trying to sign into my account, right? So this is me signing in, login. So first things first, you sign into your Facebook page, right? Or Facebook account, not Facebook page. You don't sign into a Facebook page, sign into a Facebook account. So I just signed into my account. And the next place I'm going to is here to my left. I click on see more. And I want to go to my ads manager. So all right, click here and then open the link in a new tab, right? Once I open the link in the new tab, I come here. This is my new tab right here. And it's opening the ads manager interface. Now, once this is opened, I'm going to see I have 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, I have 5 active ads that are ongoing. So it's something I do almost every week, right? So I'll click on create to create a new ad. Abdullah, this is your mic that is on. Shouldn't be. And Adelanke muted it for me. All right, so you will now decide what's the campaign objective. Abdullah, stop unmuting yourself now. You're making noise.
I have a question, sir.
Please, you ask me later. When it's time for question, we'll ask questions. You raise your hand before I ask you. I'll call you.
Okay,
right?
sir.
Yeah, so that things are organized. Thank you. All right, so you decide the campaign objective. What do you want to achieve? What's your goal for this ad? Right? You decide. I always suggest you stay around traffic and engagement, right? There's a lot of explanation that should go on here, but for sake of time, I think I have less than 5 minutes. So I will select traffic because I want to send, if you want to send people to a link, maybe say to a sign up form to your website and all of that, to be traffic. If you want to make people to send you a DM on WhatsApp or Instagram, right? You should select engagement. So for this course, for this sake, I will do engagement and then click on continue. And it's going to ask me that I want to do it, I want to tailor it, I want to do some form of automatic stuff for me. But I don't want, I always want to do it manually. So I'll switch to manual and say continue. And then when it says continue, I always, first things first, I want to always rename my campaign so that I can be able to remember, oh, when did I do this one? Oh, this one is that one. So I'll change this to class, let me call it /class tests, right? So we did a test in class. Now I'll switch to the next page, which is the ad set. This is where I select who that my ads are going to, right? So this is where I select who I'm targeting with my ads. Let's say I want to target Lagos, I want to say residents too. Lagos female residents, right? So that's the people I want to target. Then I'll scroll down here, and so it has Messenger, WhatsApp. If you are like me that have done ads over the years, I realize that Facebook people are just used to waste my time a lot when I'm running ads to sell something. You can ask me, what is this thing about? Something that I've explained, I've given price, and then somebody just come and say, somebody will come and say, help me, give me money. Who are you? What have you eaten today? Some things are unrelated. So I always turn Facebook off. So I'll turn this off. I just want Instagram DM only. So I'll turn Instagram and WhatsApp off. You can also do the ads that will go to people who send you a message on WhatsApp, but I want Instagram. So it depends on you. So I'll turn WhatsApp off as well and leave it at just Instagram, right? Then you scroll down, select how much do you want to spend. I always like to use lifetime budget. Daily budget is how much you have to spend per day. Lifetime is how much you spend for the entire duration of the campaign, right? And what that means is that you will now have a start date and then an end date when you want the ad to start and when you want it to end, right? So my lifetime ad spend can be, let me just do 10,000 naira, right? But then you are seeing a red error telling you that your budget must be at least 51,000 naira. You'll be like, maybe they say that you can run adverts for less than 10,000, like 1,000 something. That's because this start and end date is very far away. October 26th to November 26th. The platform is saying, no, do not agree for you to run advert 10,000 just for a whole 1 month, right? So you have to correct this date. So it's starting today, which is 26th. Let's say today by 4 p.m. 4:00 p.m. Then I can switch this end date to like a Sunday. Let me say Monday. But you see the error has gone out because I've reduced the time frame. So the platform I said, okay, we are fine with this, your new time frame. So I switched it to Monday, and I'm switching this, let's say 11 p.m. For some of us, you have to look out for your time zone. Some of us, our time zone doesn't have PM, so it means it's 24 hours. So if I'm saying 11 p.m., that means I'll be writing 23:00, right? So you have to look out. If your own doesn't have PM, it means it's 24 PM, AM, and those guys. It means 24 hours. Then you scroll down, I start selecting the location. So I'll click edit and type my Lagos. Remember I said it's Lagos female resident. So I type my Lagos, I'll see it. Lagos, Nigeria state. So I'll select that, right? And then I'll scroll down, and then you see where it has all this audience suggestion. Thanks for your time, please. Okay, you're thanking me already. I'm not done. Age. So you select the age. Remember I said try not to do Gbogbo, right? 24. So I have to run. I'm flying now. Sorry, guys. To 50. And then the gender, I said female, right? Said female. And somebody asked that time in class, I want to run an ad to target business owners. So you have to do a lot of thinking here. And this is where you do that thinking, where you have this detailed targeting, right? Detailed targeting. So you who are thinking you want to target business people, for somebody to have a business page or business account means person have to be an admin on a page, right? So let me type inside this box. I will type what we call page admin, right? So you can see Facebook page admin and new page admins. Like just opened the page recently. Business page admins, travel and tourism page admin. So that's the kind of page that they created. Health and beauty, community and club, retail, sports, food. Do you get it? A lot of group admins. That's for behavior, right? Behavior, you can see them. So you can type any keyword you have in mind. Clothing, and then see the options that will come up. So you have to think through your audience. What are the cutting keywords that they are interested in, right? These are the things you put here. And then the last thing you will now edit here is the placement. What do you want this advert to show to? Remember I told you I don't like it showing on Facebook. So I will turn off everybody and leave only Instagram and then you go to the next page where you now upload your image or the video. And once you upload the image or the video, then you click on publish and your ads is gone, right? Let me take questions. Sorry, I had to rush this part. I'm very sorry. But let me take your question before Solomon comes and finishes up. So, Joy, no question, right? Abdullah, you had a question while I was still teaching. Please, what's your question? Or Joy, please go on with your question. Solomon, apologies, I'm rounding up already.
I'm so sorry. I forgot to raise my hand and to unraise my hand. I actually don't have a question.
Bring it down. Thank you, Joy. Ajoke, is it Ajoke? Abubakar.
Yeah, Ajoge.
Ajoke, please go on. Let's make it snappy. I've exceeded
Sorry.
my time.
You teased me off the other time that I already telling you goodbye or thank you. Yes, because I found it very interesting how you take the class. I really appreciate because I feel like I'm novice to all those things because I run business where I don't really know how to do all those things on Instagram and all that. I run a poultry business. So when doing poultry business, how can I come in? Like how can it be of help to me? In order to target more.
Yes, first off, you have to decide, you have to have an account, an Instagram account if you don't have one. And you have to be telling people about what you are doing on your poultry and what you are selling. The next thing is you have to now think of an offer. Before you run an advert, you have to think of an offer. What do you want to give people? You cannot just come out and say, come and buy chicken. Why should I buy from you and not from somebody in my house? So you have to think of an offer. Once you think of an offer, then you now run an advert.
Okay. Thank you. I'll search you online so that whenever I'm ready, then I will bring chicken for you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you. Oluwaseun, please you.
Okay, so my question is, when you were doing that demographic parts, I think when you're trying to the interest or something like that, is it only one thing we can use? I thought we have the opportunity to use several things to be able to target our audience.
Yes, you can select as many interests as you want. It's not so for this back end. This is why this space is very pro to their ads. You don't just select interests, you select behaviors and you select demographics. Because of time, that's why I couldn't hit on all of those things. But you select behaviors and demographics. Interest is where my junior brother can be interested in Lamborghini, but it doesn't mean he can afford it. So you have to be able to sieve out interest.
Thank you.
Yes. Karim Omolola.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening.
My question is that if somebody wants to run ad on Instagram, is it better we log in from Facebook to run the ad, or we can do it on Instagram?
Please, it's best you do it from Ads Manager the way I did. That's my easy. You just have to try and learn it because, like I said, like I just explained to Sheon, that it gives you more options. You can target behaviors. You can target people who use iPhone devices, not people who are interested in iPhone. People who use iPhone, who have signed into Facebook with iPhone devices. You can target people who have birthdays in the month of October, November, December. You can target people who live in a certain part of it. You can target people who are friends of people who have birthdays. You can target people who opened Instagram, Facebook pages in the past how many weeks, just the way I showed in class. You can target, so there are a lot of targeting that are behavior based, that not, but the phone own limits it to just interests. And like I said, my junior brother can like Lamborghini or he likes and like their contents and their posts, which will make them say, oh, he has interest in Lamborghini, but he can't afford it.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm throwing my junior brother under the bus, but that's the best example. No other question, right? I'm sorry I had to rush us, but hopefully we get to touch on this some other time. My handle is here on the slide. That is on Instagram at digital KC, KCEE. So I wish us more money as we try to run ads and make sales.
Sorry, sir.
Yes, please. Who is that? I can hear you. Oh, I can't hear you properly. The network is bad. I can't hear you.
I want to ask if you want to run for people, just work on that. How would you do it?
If I want to do what?
The network is really
bad. Yes. I honestly can't hear you.
People
Why
if you
not
want to
type
run
it?
ads,
Network is bad, Euroka. Just type, Euroka, just type. I can't hear you. It's breaking.
Hey, hi, Kingsley. This is Solomon.
Yes, Solomon, thank you. I'm done.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so
Thank you very
the
much.
next question is on. All right, thank you so much, sir. So, if you have a question, you can just type, please, because of time, right? And because of the network. So, please just type, put it out there, and kindly fill out the poll. There's a poll up now. Please kindly fill out the poll, and the attendance is also on the chat box. Please kindly also fill out the attendance. It's very necessary. I could see some people asking how they could probably link up with Mr. Kingsley and all. Just fill your attendance and all. You would, like he said, you can reach out to him, you can follow him on his Instagram and all, but fill out the attendance. There's a reason why we said you should fill out the attendance for, for future purposes. So just fill out the attendance, and from there we'll know what, we'll know what's next. The next speaker is on. Okay, so someone just said which company. So how did you get this the link? Was it through Promatrix or through Nest Factory Foundation? So you choose one, pick one. So how did you get it? Did you join through Promatrix or through Net Factory Foundation? So kindly okay. Someone
Sir,
asking a question. All right.
I'm this company because the company we've been using since the beginning of the class was Promatrix, I think. I don't know if I
Okay,
should
okay.
still.
Yeah, you can.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So please let's do that now before our next speaker comes on. So there's a recording. Like I said, you should fill out the attendance also. Please do that. There's a recording. So we'll send that to you. But first of all, add you to the group chat. Then we'll also send the recording to you. So just fill out the attendance is on the chat box now, and also try and fill out the poll that is on the screen. If you have done that, you can just notify me by just typing. Okay, so the attendance link, I'll do that now. I'll paste it again. So please just fill it out now. We don't have much time anymore. Okay, someone said done. Good. So there's a poll. I can see some people they have participated in the poll. Okay.
Sir, I have a question, sir.
Oh, I know you have a question. Please, there's no time. That's just it. Okay, do you know what? After the next section, we are going to take your question. Mr. Kingsley, can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Yeah, is it fine by you? Like if we take pictures after the next? Yeah.
After the next one, I won't be here. Sorry.
You won't be here, right? So please, you can reach out to me on Instagram.
Yes, you can reach out to me.
So fill out the attendance and also participate in. Okay, we'll try and get in touch with you. All right,
Thank you very much, everybody.
And all right, thank you, Mr. Kingsley. That was a great one. Thank you. Yeah.
Sorry, sir.
Yes, please shoot.
So I'm to actually even get to the chat box using, I don't know why it's not aligned to like maybe send to the email because I received it. So is it possible, sir, to send the recording and all?
Okay. What about the poll? Have you participated in the poll?
Not. But I'll try it now.
Try. Just if you can't fill out the attendance link, participate in the poll, please.
Okay, sir.
All right, thank you. Okay, so Mr. Richard, are you on the call?
Hi, Solomon. Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me loud and clear? And please confirm there's no background noise.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me loud and clear? Please let me confirm there's no background noise.
Yeah, I can hear you loudly and clearly. Yeah.
Yes, you can hear me loud and clear, sir.
Fantastic. All right.
Okay,
right,
so Mr.
Okay, go ahead.
Richard goes on the next section, how to ace our next interview. So please let's endeavor and ensure our devices are muted, please. Let's Thank you.
Sorry, Solomon, I want to ask, right? You're the host, so you have a right, you have the capability. Can everyone hear me? Can everyone hear me and can everyone see me? All right.
I can see you. I can hear you.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to try and be as brief as possible. I see a lot of people have logged off after the first session, and I can understand why. I feel that a lot of information has been shared, and maybe for next time, some of these sessions need to be separated. Just a suggestion, but I'll do the best that I can for those who are still on call. Let me share my screen so that you can see what I want to present. Please tell me if you can see my screen, Solomon. Let me know if you can see my screen. Can you see my screen? Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen, sir.
Yes, we can, sir. We can see the screen.
Fantastic. All right. Fantastic. Thank you very much. So I'm just going to be very brief. I'm talking to you today about how to ace your next interview. So a lot of people feel like if I'm not going to work for an employer, why do I need to understand or gather skills around interviewing? Now, the truth is this: whether you're running your own business or whether you want to work for a company, whether you're taking your destiny into your own hands or you're working 9 to 5, you need to be able to have great interviewing skills, right? It's not just for job seekers, but I've discovered that even if you're running your own business and as you upscale.
You are breaking up. Could you please take your device?
Okay. Is that everybody's experience, please? Is everybody having the same experience of a breakup?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
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 yes.
yes.
Okay, so hold on, let me check my internet device. Just give me a second. Just give me a second.
Teacher! Teacher! Teacher!
Just give me a second, please. All right. Everyone hear me and can you see my screen? Please confirm you can hear me and you can see me on the video.
I can hear you, but I can't see the screen, sir.
Okay, you can't see my screen.
Yeah, I'm seeing your screen now.
Okay, you can see my screen now. Can everyone see my screen now?
Yes.
No, we can't see your screen. We only see your face.
No, we can't see your
The screen is fluctuating.
You can't see my screen. Okay, hold on. Let me try.
No, I can't see your screen. Yes.
Let me share again. Hold on.
We can see your screen.
Some can see, some can't see.
No, the line is breaking now, but we can see your screen.
Okay, so
The line is breaking, sir, but I think I can see.
Yeah, we can see, but the line is breaking.
You are muted.
Can you guys hear me now? Can you hear me?
I think the problem is with the mic. Your mic is breaking.
Okay, the mic I'm using.
Yes.
Okay, let me take off the mic and just speak through this and see.
It's fine now. It's fine.
Is it better now?
Not really.
Still not good.
It's breaking.
Yes, sir.
It's
Still
breaking.
breaking. It's still breaking.
Okay,
Sometimes
give me.
it is good, sometimes it's bad.
Okay, just
I
give
can't
me
really hear
30
you. It's breaking.
seconds. Let me change my position. Just 30 seconds.
Sir, it's not stable. It's just fluctuating.
Yes.
All right. Please know if it's better now.
Hello? Can everyone hear me now? Is it better?
Yes, sir. It's better now.
Is it better? All right.
Yes, sir. It's
Yes,
okay.
better.
It's not better now. Fantastic.
It's better. Fantastic. Okay,
If you
good.
can able
And can
to
everyone?
hear you, so go home.
All right, good. All right.
We can hear you now.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. So let me share my screen. Please confirm you can see my screen.
Okay.
Yes, I can see your picture.
Yes, sir.
Fantastic.
It's better now.
Yes, sir, we can see your screen.
All right, great. So let's get right into it. So I started out by saying that learning how to interview is a very important skill set that you need to acquire in life. And I said, regardless of whether you are going to do your own thing or you're going to work for somebody else, there are valuable skills that you need in this 21st century. So I'm excited for everyone who still stayed on this call. It's going to be a very brief presentation, but I believe that by the time we're done with this, you will be fully equipped with the skills to ace your next interview. And what that means is that you'll be equipped with the skills to do exceptionally well next time when you're interviewed. And I was trying to explain that even if you are an owner of your own business, right, there is a requirement for you to upscale. Part of upscaling means that you would probably need to pitch your product to companies. And sometimes they will request for interviews. They will schedule you for an interview, even as the owner of your business, to try and pitch your product. So there are critical interviewing skills that you need to have, regardless of whether you are doing your own work as a business owner or you are working 8 to 5. And it also is very critical, regardless of whether you're just a fresh graduate out of school or somebody who has worked for the past 20 years, like myself, right? So just a brief information about myself. My name is Richard Babaoye. I have practiced human resources for over 20 years. I've worked in different industries. I've worked in oil and gas. I've worked in banking. I've worked in telco. I've worked in healthcare. I've worked in consulting, private consulting, and I also have experience of working across different countries and different regions. Um, I love to to teach. I love to interview. I think in my career, I probably have interviewed probably well over 500 or more candidates, right? And that's just being conservative, right? So ground rules remain the same. Feel free at any time. If you want to ask any questions, just put your e-hand up. Stay muted if you're not speaking. No question is dumb. So we engage. Now, there's an interesting fact I want to share with you before I start, right? And this probably will underscore the importance of what we're talking about this afternoon, right? For people who do interviews, right, research has shown that the success rate for job interviews is often around 20 to 30%, right? Now, this becomes very instructive when you think about the fact that when you interview, for example, 10 candidates, only 2 or 3 out of 10 end up being successful. What does that tell you? That tells you that there is a lack of skill and understanding around how to sit in interviews, right? 2 over 10, 3 over 10 is not a pass, right? That's not a very good score, right? And we've also noticed that this rate varies across industries, right? We know that there's an explosion in the tech space, right? We have a lot of talent that is being resourced in tech based companies, right? And in these companies, we've discovered that the success rate is a bit higher. So sometimes you can get up to 40%, but it's still not up to a 50%. In organizations like healthcare, retail services, you will see lower rates, right? But generally speaking, what we just find out is that people tend not to have the right skills for sitting in interviews. And because I have interviewed so many people over the years, I've sat in countless interviews for fresh graduates, experienced hires. I've picked a few nuggets along the way, and I'm going to call them hacks, right? If you go probably online, you will see some of them as well, right? But these are nuggets or hacks that I have picked up by virtue of my own personal experience in conducting interviews, as well as also sitting in interviews, right, over the years, right? So the first hack I want to talk about, whether you're a business owner or you are seeking to work for somebody or seeking to change jobs or transition between employment, I think the first thing you need to know and understand is yourself. And if I ask a question on this call, how many of you know yourself? I'm sure a lot of you will raise your hands up and say, well, yeah, I know myself and all that. But to what extent do you really, really, really know yourself? And it's amazing that today we have all types of tools, right, that are available online that can help you, to get to know a bit more about yourself. And I'm sure some of you probably might have interacted with a couple of them, right? For example, like there's the DISC, right, which is like a personality profiling tool. And there are many of them like that out there, right, that will take you through a set of questions and then analyze your personality profile, tell you a little bit more about yourself, right? How you react in pressure situations, right? Are you a collaborative person? Are you a team player? Or do you like to work more individually, right? It will tell you things about how you resolve conflicts, right? So one of the things that I feel is very important, right, as you prepare for your next interviews, you really, really need to know yourself. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses, right? What are your values? What are the values that you hold very dear? Because as an interviewer that is sitting in front of you, the first thing really I want to know is I want to know about yourself. And that's why a lot of times when you do interviews, the first thing they'll ask you, one of the first things they usually ask you is tell us about yourself. We want to know how much do you really know who you are, right? And that's the question I want to, challenge everyone on this call. How much do you know yourself? How much can you sell yourself, your profile, who you are, right? How much aware are you of your strengths, your weaknesses, your values? What do you hold there, right? Organizations have values, companies have values, right? And they're looking at you to see whether you fit that value. Can we work together? Do your values align with our values as an organization? So that's some of the things they're looking at. Another very important thing you also need to know about yourself is your net worth, right? At the end of the day, what is your net worth? In other words, what is the value of your experience, the value of your learning, the value of your study, the value of your networks, of your relationships, of the people that you have understudied or who have mentored or coached you? the trainings you've attended, like the one you did just now, what is your net worth? You need to be able to estimate that, right? Very, very critically, right? Very interestingly, I discovered, having interviewed over the years, a lot of times when we interview, we discover that there are trends, right? For example, there are trends that tell us that people who probably have been exposed to certain kinds of trainings or disciplines, tend to do better, right? But there are always exceptions. There are people who are outliers. So the first thing I want to say and repeat is that you must know yourself, right? The second thing I want to talk about, my hack two, is know your future employer, right? A lot of people go for interviews and they have no idea about the company they're interviewing for. Or as a business owner, take for example, maybe you sell soap, for example, and you want to be a distributor or a channel partner, to this conglomerate, right? How much do you know about the company before you go and sit in front of the leadership team and pitch your product? How much do you know of the company? So very important, whether as an individual or a business owner, you need to know your future employer, right? You need to know what the business is. You need to know in what industry they operate. You need to even go as far as knowing what is their market share, right? What share of the market do they have? Are they a global player or the local player? You need to also have an idea of their competitors. Who do they compete with? Right? What are their core values? What do they hold and esteem, right, as their values? You need to also have a little bit of understanding of their culture, right? Different types of industries have different cultures. There's a culture that is specific to, for example, the tech space, right? Open-ended, laissez-faire. And there's a structure, for example, in a place like banking, more regimented, and all of that. So this is hack two that we need to be aware of. The third hack that I have noticed is about, I call it be trendy, right? Because I've discovered out of experience that it's not just enough for you to be technically sound or gifted or to know about your product or your business or your profession, right? You also need to be aware of what is going on in the world. And a lot of times when we do interviews, we just push throughout questions like that to candidates to see how much they know of what's going on. So, for example, if I ask all of you on this call today and I say, okay, tell me 5 things that have happened in Nigeria in the last 3 weeks that are on the top burner, that have happened in Nigeria. And I'm going to throw that open, right? I want to ask you, you can put, if you have an answer, you can put it on the comment chat. Just tell me 5 things that you know have happened in Nigeria. To make it easier, I can say / what has happened globally. Tell me what is trending globally, right? And don't tell me about Brobisky and Very Dark Man. I'm not talking about those kind of things. I'm talking about what's going on, globally that can impact, for example, business or the company that you are even trying to interview for. Do you understand what I'm saying? Right? So you need to be trendy. And when I say trendy, understand me, I'm not talking about being fashionable or knowing what the fads are in today. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about being up to date, right? Very, very, very important. All right. Hack 4. And the things I've said so far, right, up onto this hack 4, are things you should prepare for and know about before you even go into the interview, right? Hack 4, know the position. If you're applying for a position, right, if you want to apply to a business to be, for example, their distributor, or you want to be a consultant, you need to understand the scope of the work that you're going to be doing for them. If you're a business owner and you want to upscale and you want to begin to work with companies, you need to understand the scope, the extent of what services you are required to provide. You need to study to understand this. What are the responsibilities? What are the rights and obligations, right? What are the competencies that are required? Competency simply means the knowledge, skills, and attributes that you require to perform a specific job, right? And let me give you a typical example. If, for example, you are a data analyst by training, right? Or you're a data scientist, right? There are certain skills, technical skill sets that you need to have. And aside from that, there are also certain behaviors that you need to exhibit, right, to successfully, do that job, right? So these are some of the things that we need to understand. Know the position. And then in knowing the position that you apply for, I think it's also very important for you to think around your own experience. So, for example, ask yourself, what have I done? And how can my experience be aligned with this job? Now, I'm saying this because a lot of us, right, we undersell ourselves. And it takes sitting down and thinking through to really know that there's really more experience than you think you have, right? And this is very important because this is one area where a lot of candidates miss out because they feel that I don't have enough experience. So let me give a typical example. You go for a job and they're asking you to tell them about a time that you led a team. And you're like, I just finished school less than 3 months ago. Maybe I'm just even doing my NYC. I haven't done anything like that. But that's not correct. Now, for some of you, while you were in school, you were leaders, for example, in clubs, right? Or in professional associations, and you did things. Some of you in your NYSC, you led projects in your CDS, in your group. These are things that you did, but you have minimized because you've not understood how to package, your experience. So what am I saying? Know the position that you're applying for and think around the experience you already have and how it can align because that will come very critical when you sit in interview to ask questions. Hack number 5, dress well. You see, I cannot overemphasize this. Like I said, I've interviewed well over 500 people in the course of my career, and 500 to make it just to be conservative. It's well over that, right? Over 20 years, and I've seen all kinds of things, right? I've seen people who are skilled, who are gifted, who know the job, but they come into an interview situation looking totally misaligned, right? And guess what? There are different types of desk codes for different types of industries. I give an example of the tech space and I give an example of banking, right? You can't go into a banking interview dressed like a tech guy, right? It's going to put you on the wrong foot because in the banking industry, there's a dress code. There's how you dress. There's how you expect to see somebody, a candidate, be dressed, right? So dress well. I remember many years ago when I went to do a bank job, I went to buy. Of course, I didn't have money, but I went and to the best of my ability, got a suit, ironed it, put on a tie, corporately dressed because I know that is the dress code. And even before the interviewer opens their mouth to ask a question, they've already sized you up based on how you've dressed. So dress well. And guess what? You don't need money. You don't need so much money to dress well. All you just need to do is look decent, be modest, right? And depending on the industry where you're trying to pitch your product or you're trying to get a job, find out what the dress culture is. But I will always advise to err on the side of caution. Always be fully corporate or business casual. But I will always go for being fully corporate because when you are in doubt, be fully corporate, right? So that's hack number 5. Sorry, I'm rushing. I don't know how much more time I have, but I'm going to quickly rush. Now, hack number 6 is when you go for an interview and you sit before the interviewer, regardless of the question they ask you, whether they ask you, tell us about yourself, whether they ask you, give us 5 examples or 5 benefits of data analysis to a company, or whether they ask you, tell us about a time when you exhibited integrity, regardless of the question they ask you, or even if they ask you, tell us about this company, always have at the back of your mind that every question that is being asked, regardless of how it is posted or relayed, is seeking to understand: are you competent for this role? Are you the right candidate for this role? So, regardless of how they pitch the question or throw it to you, always immediately the question comes, and this is what I used to do as a candidate. Immediately you ask a question, I take like two quick seconds to look at that question in my mind and think, how does that question relate to the experience that I have? And how can that experience, right? How can I project that experience to show the interview panel that I'm qualified for this job, right? So let me give a typical example. Now, if they ask me about a time that I displayed integrity, I'm going to look back in my work experience. or my school life, or something that I did maybe as a pet project or as a hobby, where I displayed integrity. And I'm going to now pull out that example and use it to tell a story of how, if you employ me in your company, this same value is what I'm going to bring. So always think about your competencies. Think, whenever they ask you a question, think competency. Think, what have I done that can show that I'm competent for this job, right? And there are many things, like I said to those of us that listen on this call, that you've done, but you minimize, you underestimate. And one of them is your experience. And that experience is not just the experience you've garnered working for a company, but even while you were in school, right? Doing projects or working, with a professional body or an association or a club or whatever it is. Think about the results that you've achieved over the years. Think about the outcomes, positive outcomes, right? That have been, garnered by virtue of maybe your work ethic or your integrity or your display of certain values like teamwork, collaboration. Think about those things. So as you prepare for an interview, put your best foot forward. Sit down, write down a list of all the things that you've done, right? And think of how questions that are asked, you can tie in your competency into those questions. I always propose a technique in interviewing, which we call the STAR technique. It's a very simple technique. It's called STAR, and it's an acronym for situation, task, action, and result. What does it simply say? What it simply says is that whenever you ask the question, first think of a situation that you have been in that is aligned with the scenario that the question is trying to paint. So, for example, if you ask me a question, I should talk about it. I should tell you about myself. I'll tell you about the time that I displayed integrity. I'm going to think of a situation. Okay, so I remember a time when I worked for a company, a very big oil and gas company, and one of the vendors wanted to bribe me. Walked into my room, walked into my office, and put a very big envelope in my hand. That's the situation. And then the next thing is task, right? The task is the individual wanted to bribe me. That was his mission. That was what he wanted to achieve, right? He wanted me to use my position as an HR leader to influence some certain decisions around, vendor management as an, HR vendor. And what was the action that I took? I sat him down and I told him, I said, I cannot take this money because the company pays me, right? It is wrong for me to be influenced by you to do a job that I'm already being paid to do. So please keep your money. And what was the result? The result is that years down the line, that vendor had challenges with the company, right? And because I had not soiled my hands, by collecting anything from him, I was able to act, with impartiality. I was able to make decisions around, there was something they had to discipline the vendor because there were some things that were not properly done. And I was able to do it with a clean conscience, right? That is the kind of example I would give if I'm sitting in an interview and they're asking me a question about integrity. So please always provide competency-based answers. Hack number 7. You see, there's something about body language, right? And I want to ask this question, please. And I want you to put it on the chat. I want to ask all of you that are on this call a question. I want you to give me a non-verbal cue. A non-verbal cue simply means a sign or a gesture or a posture, right, that speaks a language or communicates a message. So without speaking, there's a way that through my body language, how I sit, how I raise my hands, how I gesture, how I articulate, right? There are messages that can be communicated, either positive or negative, right? So I want all of you to think about a negative body language or non-verbal cue that can be communicated without speaking and that is globally recognized. So regardless of whether you are Chinese that doesn't know how to speak English or you are French that doesn't know how to speak German, regardless of if we come from all over the world, let's even say in Nigeria, for example, you are Hausa, Yoruba, you are Igbo, you can't speak each other's language. Give me an example of a non-verbal cue or a body language or a sign that once you do it, regardless of which part of the world you come from, you understand that either a positive or a negative message is being communicated, right? You can put it in the chat. Think about it and put it in the chat. I don't want to ask people to unmute and answer because I'm just rushing for time. But please, I want to see your answers in the chat. Give me an idea of something, a non-verbal cue. And let me give you an example, a very typical example. regardless of wherever you come from in the world, right? If you put your hand on your head, whether you're British, whether and like I said, I've dealt with quite a lot of people all over the world. Whether you're British, whether you're Chinese, if you put your hand on your head, it communicates a universal language, regardless of what you speak, right? And there are many verbal cues like that. So what am I saying? When you go into in interview, the panel or the interviewer is looking beyond your words, looking beyond your persona. They're looking at your body language. Your body language is speaking, is communicating a language. So you must be very careful, right? How you come across. Today, right, we have a lot of interviews that are virtual because that's the way forward right now. There's a lot of remote working. People do interviews. The interviewers are in the US, the candidate is in Nigeria, and vice versa, right? And you would feel that because it's a virtual interview, that the interviewers are not observing. They are. And that's why a lot of times they ask you to put on your camera. So please always watch out how you sit, right? Imagine you're sitting and in a chair and I'm interviewing and you're slopped on your chair. You know, the message already tells me this guy is not serious. This guy is not ready for this interview. This guy is not taking this thing serious. Why? Because he's slumped in his chair, you know, giving an attitude, you know, like a cocky attitude. No. It doesn't also mean that you should cower. You know, some people sit in interviews and they're, you know, no, be confident. There's a posture that you take that shows that you're not arrogant, but you're confident. So always watch out your body language, your eye contact. Let me give you a typical example. If I'm talking to somebody and you cannot maintain eye contact with me, it gives me an impression that you are not confident. It gives me an impression that you are not you are not assertive, and that is already can be marked against you in interview, because like I said, we're not only looking at your technical ability, we're looking at your behavioral attributes. Can this guy be assertive in a situation? Can this guy take leadership if it's required, right? And so on and so forth. All right. Hack number 8: never going into an interview without preparing questions of your own. Even if the interviewers don't ask you to ask questions, ask a question, because you know why? Your ability to ask questions also shows that you are really interested in the job. And on this point, ask important questions. Don't ask questions that are not significant. For example, don't be asking questions about salary. As much as it is important, that is not the kind of question that will wow your interviewers. Ask questions that are strategic. Ask questions around, for example, the company you want to work for. Okay, what is your market share? What are your priorities? How do you intend to break the market in the next 5 years? Or what are you doing to ensure, you know, a culturally sensitive work environment for your employees? Strategic questions. I've seen certain interviews where candidates ask me questions. I'm like, wow, this guy is the person we should hire, right? Hack number 9: never be late for an interview, right? Don't let what happened to me today in this session happen to you, where you say, we can't hear you, we can't hear you, and I'm not running all over the place looking for where in my house I can quickly set up again to get a better network. That should not happen. Imagine if I was in an interview and I was doing all of that, and I am the interviewer, I'm really like, oh, this guy is not ready for us, right? So be ready. If you are doing a virtual interview, test your connectivity, test all of that, 30 minutes. And if the call is starting, right, by 9 a.m., be on the call at least 8:50. Beat your interviewer to it. And if you're physically going for an interview, be there. I remember many years ago when I started out my career and I lived in the north and I came to Lagos for the first time to do an interview, right? I came all the way. And you know what I did? I went straight to the venue of the interview because I wasn't familiar with Lagos. I'm like, okay, let me do a simulation of how to get there. I went there, surveyed the place, did all of that, and then went back and came back the next day. So be prepared, prepare, right? Give yourself ample head start. Hack number 10: be present. A lot of times you do interviews and people are not present. You're an interview and it's a virtual interview and there's all kinds of distractions behind you. People are passing you. Somebody's talking to you. You are responding to the person while you're still on the interview. Find a quiet place. Lock yourself in if you need to. Be present. Listen actively. Go straight to the point. Show enthusiasm. I've interviewed people that they are so lackadaisical. They are laid back and you're asking yourself, were they forced to come and do this interview? So be energetic. Let me know that you are the most qualified person for this job. If I have 10 candidates and I ask you, why should I drop the 9 candidates? You should be able to give me a reason as to why you are the most um, qualified candidate. The last hack, before I wrap it up, right, is follow up. A lot of people do interviews, and at the end of the interviews, right? That's the end. You don't hear from them again, right? Follow up. Send a thank you email to the panel. Say thank you very much. That was so powerful. I had a great time, and these are the things I'm looking forward to. These are my first 5 priorities. When I join your company, I'm going to be working on this. I'm so excited. And then follow up, reiterate your interest, stay in touch, right? So these are my hacks. Like I said, you can go online, you will see all kinds of things. But this from my own experience, these are the things that I have seen that separate the boys from the men or the girls from the women, right? Now I'm going to just show you one more slide deck before we go into questions, right? And that slide deck is just to look at common errors that people make, and I've spoken about some of them. So it's just basically just going through it again, just common interview pitfalls to avoid, right? Prepare. Lack of preparation is it's so easy to see it. If you're an interviewer, you can see it, right? You can see it. So it's so clear. If somebody has not prepared for an interview, you will tell. They will stammer. They will ask you to repeat the question. They will give answers that do not correlate, all kinds of things, and you're aware that this guy is not prepared. Talk about body language, right? And the people who go into interviews and they don't give enough information. Is this black? Yes. Are you white? No. No. Go beyond yes and no answers. Sell yourself. And if you're a business owner, sell yourself. Learn how to pitch your product. Understand your product to a point that you can pitch it when you go for an interview with a prospective customer or client, and you can sell it so that the customer will give up other people and say, "Kono, this is the guy that we need. He's got the energy. He understands our business. He can help us leverage and scale." Right? And when you go into interviews, don't emphasize negative things that have happened in your past. Always project the positive, right? Project the positive things that have happened. Okay, and don't be overly focused on money. I discovered that a lot of times people go into interview and it's money, money. No, money is important. Don't get me wrong, but guess what? Some people have messed up their interviews because they focused on the money rather than the wholesome experience, right? So I would end here and leave it open to questions. I hope I've been able to stay within 30 minutes, Solomon. If I've exceeded, please, my apologies.
Yes, you have been able to stay within 30 minutes. It has been a good one, sir. I've also been part of those learning.
Fantastic. Okay, so do you want to open up to questions? If anybody has any question, please, let's fire. How many minutes do I have for questions? Solomon, how many minutes do I have for questions?
Please, can I ask questions, sir?
Okay.
Yes.
So
I just wanted to find out how many minutes do I have for questions, Solomon? Are you there? How many minutes do I have? Just
yeah,
time.
yeah, I'm here. So it depends on you, sir. Okay, let's say 10 minutes. If it's not too much.
10 minutes for all the questions. That's fine. Okay. Yeah, please let's
All
go
right.
ahead.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
All right.
It's not actually interview center, but I've seen, like for instance now, someone is let me say someone is a medical lab scientist in a lab company.
Okay.
But the person actually, done a kind of shadow work in areas of, let me say, managing the tech side. But the person wants to switch maybe like a tech career, maybe like into a digital marketing.
Correct.
While the person was a medical lab scientist, the person was
Correct.
handling the digital things of the company. So
Correct.
is it right, instead of putting that like a medical lab scientist in that company, you now put digital marketing because you want to switch career into that particular area? Is it proper?
Yeah, so this is what I would advise, right? That if you are in a career and then you want to make a switch, don't junk all the experience you've had before, right? So that's what mistakes some people do. Okay, I'm switching from HR, I'm going to tech. Then I went to do a training, and then maybe I've done like a volunteer work with 1 or 2 tech companies, and then I'll now scrap all the HR experience that I have simply because I want to be accepted or screened. No, your experience, regardless of whether it's related to what you are doing now or not, is very critical. And you'll be shocked that even in, just like you give this example now, you'll be shocked that even in your work as a lab scientist or a lab technician, you've done some, for example, data analytics or something that is tech related, maybe not even core tech related, but all of that in itself is very important. So my advice would be, yes, you can put the career change or switch on your CV, right? But don't junk your prior experience. Package your experience, package all of your past experience to tailor into what you are currently pursuing, whether it's a career in tech packages. And then look for all the things you've done in the tech space, even if they are not formal, that you can also pitch and put in your resume. That would be my answer to your question. I think that was Okafor Otibo. I hope I answered your question well. Okay, thank you, Okafor. Okay, so I have quite a couple of hands raised. Let me start with Matthew Daudu Ojo. Matthew, please go ahead.
So my question is actually last week I attended an interview.
Okay. You attended an interview, yeah?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And also, he also asked another question that is one asking the question, can I trust you? So for me, I felt that those.
So I don't know if you guys can hear. I don't know if you guys can hear Matthew, but you're breaking on my end. Is it just me? Please confirm. Is it just breaking on my end?
Yeah, confirm. It's breaking.
Okay. So Matthew,
Hello? Can you hear me
breaking.
Now?
Okay, I can hear you now. Please go ahead. Take it again.
Okay, I said the interviewer asked me two questions that I felt that is irrelevant.
Oh, the interviewer asked you two questions that you felt was irrelevant. Okay.
One is said on a scale of.
Okay.
On a scale of.
On a scale of 1 to 10, I can't hear you again. You said on a scale of 1 to 10, what?
Am I lazy?
Are you lazy? Okay, good. What's the second question?
Yes. Okay, well.
Maybe you should type the question.
Okay, yes. So I would advise maybe you should type the question, Matthew, because it's really breaking. But while you are typing the second question, let me just answer the first question, which is an interviewer asked you, you should rate yourself 1 to 10 if you are lazy or not. Now, it is not up to you to make an interviewer feel that the question they're asking you is stupid. Whether it's stupid to you or not, answer the question. And I agree with you that some interviewers ask foolish questions. Because truth be told, if you ask me to rate myself how lazy I am 1 to 10, 1 to 7, I'm not going to rate myself low. I'm going to rate myself up because I want the job. Does it mean that I'm telling you the truth? The answer is no. It could be no. So just still answer it. Even if you feel it's a stupid question, still answer it, because you know that not all interviewers are fully trained and skilled in competency-based interviewing, right? So you can type your second question. Let me go to Oluwatomi Oluwole.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Tommy.
I have two questions.
Okay, go ahead.
First question is when you talked about non-verbal cues.
Yes.
So, for example, I grew up in an environment where if an elderly person is talking to you, you don't stare at the person, like you don't look at eyeball to eyeball. So it's like a kind of different. So how do I balance culture with facing an interview? Then my second question, let's say for example, I have stated in my CV that I don't have this criteria, or let's say, okay, this criteria, I'm not able to speak another language, or I don't have an international passport. It's just like a criteria for a job role.
Correct.
And the interviewer still asked me in the interview if I have this or if I'm able to do this. But I've already stated in my CV already. So what should be my response to that
Okay,
question?
so let me start. Okay, so let me start with the second question. Your response will still be to tell the interviewer what you know to be true, regardless of whether it's in your CV or not. And there are some interviewers who don't have time to read through everything that is in your resume. Some have read it, but they will still ask you to be sure that the CV matches the person that is sitting in front of us. Because we've seen all kinds of things in interviews. We've seen people just dub people's CVs. People just carry experience that they don't have. So sometimes you want to drill down. Those people really have this experience. So you ask questions that are already showing up there in the resume, right? And sometimes, you know, you may not have the qualification. For example, you don't have an international passport, you can't speak a second language, you've not worked internationally, but you can still get the job. So even if you lack certain things, be upfront, be honest. Always say what it is, but also add a caveat that you have potential. That once, if you are given the opportunity, you are a fast learner. Things like that. I've seen people who didn't have sometimes some of the essential or desirable criteria for a role. Like, for example, maybe they've not worked internationally or they can't speak a second language and they still got the job because of the attitude and how they pitch themselves, right? So the first part, which is culture. Culture is very important. We all come from cultures, right? So, for example, I'm a Yoruba guy, but I grew up in the north. So I have all the nuances of a northerner, right? I speak the language very fluently. And there are certain idiosyncrasies that a northerner will exhibit that somebody from the southwest will not, or and southeast and vice versa. But the thing is this: when you are interviewing, right, there is a code, right, that is required. And that code is mutual respect. Respect the person you are talking to, but don't cower. Don't be subservient. Because let me tell you, you might look at it as respect from the culture you're coming from, but the interviewer is looking at it that this guy is not assertive. We can't hire this kind of person. This one will be a yes sir or a yes man, right? He can't stand his own. He can't take decisions. It's going to be, and take for example, there are organizations that I've consulted for. They're trying to change the culture. They discover that it's a subservient culture where people do yes sir, yes ma, yes ma. And they're not trying to bring in fresh people that can challenge the system. And then you come in with your yes, my yes, sir, you can't do eye contact, you lose the job. So you can show respect. I've worked with people who are 10 years, 20 years older than myself. Show respect, but still be professional. And looking down when they're talking to you, not maintaining eye contact is not professional. Bowing down your head and making all those gestures in an interview is not professional, right? So I hope I've answered your two questions, Oluwatomi.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Let's move to Oluwaseun Ojo Oludare, and I'll make it very quick. I know that I've already kept us for a long time.
Oh, all right. I have a question in this chat box already, but you are not checking. So let me read it. Like,
Oh, sorry. Let me check.
what should be the perfect response when we are asked why we left our previous workplace, especially when we know that we left because we were underpaid, that we weren't paying us well. Then secondly, the question I want to ask is, can we be a kind of sarcastic in just to create a sense of humor you get when being interviewed? Do you understand? So is it really allowed? Because I feel like it should be interactive and not as if, okay, I'm writing a very, very serious examination like that, or should we take it as though we are writing a very serious examination? Thank you.
Okay, so what if I understand your second question? Your second question is with regards to whether what kind of approach should it be, formal or kind of informal? In other words, can you throw jokes in there, or should it just be
Yes.
strictly serious?
Yes.
So I think one of the things you need to do when you go into an interview is read the room. I hear what I'm saying. Read the room, because no two interview panels are the same. Sometimes it's an individual interviewer or it's a panel. It could be 3 or 4 people. Read the room. And what do I mean by read the room? Sometimes there are interviewers on the panel who want to give you a bad day. So they're going to hit you. They're going to provoke you. They're going to say things that will unsettle you. So you must learn how to stay professional. There are people who will take offense if you now start joking or jesting in an interview. So for my own 2 cents is stay professional. However, if the interviewer now eases things up, sometimes interviewers will even want you to feel comfortable. So maybe because a lot of candidates come in, afraid, apprehensive. So a lot of times what we do is we try and douse the tension. Just ask you, how are you doing now? Ask questions around, do you play football? What's your what club do you support? You know, things like just to ease the question. Now that is to make you calm down. Not doesn't mean that you should now enter into a laissez-faire mode. Still stay professional. I would suggest and say let the interviewers do more of that, right? You can, in making a point, maybe say it in a funny way that will make crack them up and make them laugh. But the bottom line is still stay professional, not unwholesome jesting or saying things that will work against you, right? Now, on your first question, which is about coming up front with the reason why you left a job. Now, this is my own personal experience, and you know why it's my personal experience because me, one of the things I look out for first and foremost when I'm interviewing a candidate, regardless of whether you started working or you're a fresh graduate or you've been there for 20 years, I'm looking for integrity. Because you might know this job, but I discovered that sometimes knowing your job is not enough. There are attributes and behaviors that you need, and one key one is integrity. There's a body language that will let me know that you're lying if you're saying this is the reason why, because I will drill further and ask you questions. So for me, if you left a job because the pay was not good enough, say it. Except you feel that will diminish your opportunity, but I don't think it will. And you see, there's a way you can pitch it without making it look overly negative. So, for example, you can say something like, "The reason why I left my last job was because I'm looking for better financial opportunities." That way, you're not even talking about the negativity of the company you're coming from. You're just simply saying that you're looking. So be forward looking. Always talk about what you are looking forward to. Now, if you tell me you are looking for greater financial opportunities, I already know that what you are saying is that they didn't pay you well, but you didn't say it that way. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So that's how I would say the truth, but package it in a positive way. All right. Have I answered your question, Sheung? I hope I have. Let's move to
Hello, sir. Your
yes.
time is up, actually.
My time is up. Can I just take two more questions?
Let's take 2 more quickly. Fine.
There was an Abu Siddiq that raised his hand earlier, and then I'll do Emmanuel and okay, they put their hands down. Okay, so Abdul Siddiq, are you still there?
I'm still here. Sir.
Okay. Okay, please ask your question.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah. My question is kind of related to the first question, yeah.
Okay.
Whereby you go to an interview and they ask you about yourself and along the line.
What's your what?
Like along the line, is it possible to add a skill that is not related to the position you are
that you're applying for?
Yes. Just for example.
Okay.
Can I give a
Please go ahead.
Okay. You're applying for the position of an auditor.
Yes.
And on the line, you're like telling them that you are good in social media management, and it's something that you can actually advise the company on based on what you've observed on their social media platform that they are not quite doing well. So is it possible for you to actually chip in something like that?
Absolutely. Yes, you can. You see, interviewing is about putting your best foot forward. So there might be something that you have noticed that you feel that you have a skill set that is not even being projected on the resume or the JD or the job description for the role. You can bring it forward. That can also give you leverage because in the mind of the interviewer, this guy is thinking outside the box. And this is the kind of employee that we need. So I would advise and say, yes, do that. Now, I saw one question where somebody was asking about when they ask you for your salary, should you tell them how much you want? Now, this is how I would advise. I would say be careful about giving a specific figure because sometimes you can price yourself out of the shortlist. So I would say be open, be flexible, and say things like, make me an offer. Make me an offer first. That's always a safe place. Make me an offer and then we'll discuss. I'm open to negotiate. Because every company usually, even though when they ask you, they already have a skill. So if you now go and say something that's way out of it, they might just say, put this guy out. But you can say, I'm open to an offer, make me an offer and I'll negotiate. But if they now insist and say, no, give us a value, then you can give a value, but say please that is open to negotiation. Never box yourself into a corner. Somebody asked for my LinkedIn name. I think I will share that somewhere in the box at some point. Let me see if there's any other question there that I missed out. Sorry, Solomon. What happens if an interviewer asks you questions on your private life? Well, this is it. Like I said, some interviewers are not very mature. If they ask you a question about your private life and you feel it's something that you are uncomfortable about, I think that there is a way you can answer. There's a polite way you can answer and say, sorry, maybe that part of my life is a bit sensitive and I'm not very open to sharing. Do you understand? For example, if somebody comes and asks questions like maybe your personal life or your romantic life, for example. I'm just giving an example. For those of you maybe who are in relationships, that's the kind of personal question, right? I would say don't be rude, don't deflect, but find a way to say, sorry, I intruded into my private space. Do you mind if I pass that question, right? Then so what is the best response when it, okay, salary expectation, I've answered that. What again? Can can we get this recording? Okay, well, that's to Solomon. What again? Okay, if I'm being granted an interview online, which one is the best posture for me? So for me, if you are doing an online interview, you can see the way I'm seated now. You can see my screen. Just make sure that your full view can be seen, right, and that you're looking straight into the camera, right? Sit at like a 90 degrees angle. You know, don't slop in your chair. Do you understand? And if you're making hand gestures, like you said, the way I'm doing, just be assertive, be straight to the point, be confident. Don't, do you understand? So some of you that are seeing the way I'm talking, that's how you should come across in an interview. Be assertive, be confident, right? So that's the posture that you should have. Let me see if there's any more. Solomon, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I think. Okay, I think that's it. I'm not sure I've seen any other question.
So what I'll
Is there anybody
do
that
is
has
I
a
will
question raised, or anybody still has any question, or can we wrap it up there? And then I'll hand it back over to Solomon. Anybody else?
There is a question in the group already.
Okay. Let me see. The last question I'm seeing is about recording. Okay. Who is the person asking the question? Tochuku, quickly ask your question. And then I will allow Feisheton as well. Please, let's make it quick.
I asked if we can just take excuse to drink water, because if I'm the one talking the way you are talking since, I will have drink water like twice.
Please feel free. Please feel free. But don't do that in an interview.
And
Don't
that's
do
what
that in
I'm
an interview.
saying. That's the
No.
interview.
No.
Wow.
Well, except if you're choking. If you're choking, it's fine, of course, because this is now health and safety first. If you're choking and maybe your mouth is dry and you know that it's affecting your performance, yes, you can just respectfully ask the interviewer, say, please, can you give me just 1 minute to just quickly get water? Of course, they will oblige you, and that's fine. But not as if it's just something you just casually want to do, right? Yeah, so that's it. Thank you very much. Patient. Okay, was it Patient that spoke just now?
Okay. Good afternoon, sir. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon. Good evening, yeah.
Please, sir, I want to find out if we can get, if your slides can be shared to us, the ones you presented.
Yeah, why not? If that's open, if Net Factory and Promatics are fine with that, I will check with Solomon. If they're okay with that, yes, I can have it sent to Solomon and he'll share with you guys.
Okay, sir. Secondly, I have a second question.
Okay.
So I was just thinking, what if one is really preparing for an interview, you know, like you prepare so much and you're
Yes.
really not, you don't, there's no preparation that's too much. What are really the
Correct.
key qualities that that interviewers are really looking out for in candidates beyond your qualifications? What are they
Beyond your
really looking
qualification, right?
Yes, please.
Yeah, so for me, I think the first thing you're looking at is alignment in terms of culture and values. So every organization, like I said, has culture and values. I have seen in my career, I have fired more people. When I say fired, I've given more employees letter of firing for reasons that are not even tied to their technical work. More have been around integrity, more have been around lack of teamwork, more have been around, displaying values that are not aligned with the organization. So for me, I feel that apart from your technical skills, be good technically, but there are values that an organization is looking for that align. So, and I've always mentioned this: integrity is key. Number one, as an interviewer, that's number one I'm looking for. Does this person have integrity? Can we trust you? Is this person a team player? Can you collaborate with people, or you enter into the team and cause disruption? Everybody starts fighting. People start, getting depressed. Those are very important things. How do you resolve conflicts? Are you somebody who is proactive in terms of how to resolve situations, or are you somebody who is always looking for who dropped the ball? These are behavioral attributes that, as an interviewer, you're looking out for, right? Another thing is, for example, professionalism. Are you professional, right? Are you somebody who has an understanding of the organization? So I'm looking also, do you understand this company, or are you just coming with just your know-how? I know this thing. Do you understand this business? How much do you know about our organization? So these are some of the things, right? I mean, there's an exhaustive list because of time, right? Facial. I would just say that values are very important that you need to eschew apart from your technical skills. And these are the things that we look out for when we do interviews. David, I think this will be the last question.